What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Foregoing. The players have spoken, guys. We're going to take a look at the tier list. We're going to see where you guys rank all of these characters as far as the tier list is concerned. And as far as how we figure up exactly what we're going to be doing with the tier list, guys, is that all I'm looking at is, obviously their name. And I'm just looking at which of them has the most votes, right? So Omega Rugal here, right? He just has 49 True God votes. He has 74 Demigod votes. He has 56 lesser deity votes. He has 22 intermediate deity votes, and then he has 9 greater deity votes. So obviously, the one with the most votes, 74 votes, he's going to be in demigod 2. And the way that we're going to be doing this is on the tier list, the character is going to be ranked in the order who has the most votes. So whoever has the most votes for true god is going to be in the first slot. And then with the second most, they're going to be in the second slot. And then so far in the third slot, right? And this is pretty much what happened as far as the tier list is concerned is this right here. This is how the tier list is shaping up, my friends, right? And you might be a little surprised with this, right? Now, there are some things about this that I definitely would disagree with as far as I'm concerned, but you guys chose where these characters belong, and we're going to talk about it just a little bit. So Dual Lawn really didn't come into no surprise as being in last place. Actually, guys, Dual Lawn, if I take a look at my sheet here, because I actually kind of forgot, Dual Lawn was actually voted, he had 64 votes, which is the most votes for the lesser deity. So he actually would actually belong up here. But I put him here because a lot of people voted for him to be like 56 people voted for him to be in the intermediate deity, and 58 voted for him to be in the greater deity, which is actually the worst. So I kind of just, mix matched him a little bit and just put him into the intermediate deity, but he still does come in last place. And yeah, Nina had less votes than Cronin, Ryu, and Chun-Li as far as the lesser deity is concerned. Angel had the most votes for the lesser deity. Angel ended up having, let me take a look at my list here, guys. She ended up having, 95 votes for the lesser deity, whereas Kyo here actually had 88 votes, right? So she just had more, and that's kind of the way that I did this, from whoever had the most votes from the most to the least, and whatever category the most people voted for is where we actually put these characters. And, I just want to talk a little bit about, the selections that we have here, because I do feel like maybe some people were kind of trolling a little bit, but I also want to thank all of you guys that took this seriously and really try to put in your effort as far as, or take the time to put in the effort to give your results, because I personally value it a lot. I really value you guys' opinions. And I'm not going to change this. I'm not going to put, my input as far as where these characters actually belong. We're just going to go with what the players actually go with. Now, I will say this right off the get-go. Jin does not belong in the first place here, guys. And he does belong in True God, in my opinion. But to be in first place, no. Nakaruru, guys, is destroying him in Guild Raid. A5 Nakaruru can absolutely destroy him. And she has an immunity core. She has a built-in heal. Yeah, he's got heals, and he's an amazing character. He's a godly character. True God for sure. But Nakaruru is doing double his damage, guys. Over double, because an A5 Nakaruru can do twice as much damage as an A7 Devil Jin, at least from the videos that I've seen, which is nuts. And she also has the survivability, just like he does, right? Which survivability is actually better? I mean, it's arguable in all honesty, guys, because whenever you take Jin, you spam his skills, you actually build up his heals quite often, whereas with her, it's not exactly the same thing. So there is an argument there as far as that is concerned, and I think a lot of players, when they looked at this, they were just like, we're just looking at the characters as a whole. I will say that I was also a little bit surprised that Rugal was in front of these characters. I mean, Haramaru and Nakaruru, I personally feel really should be in the front of the line, especially because, Rugal, guys, I mean, he's my favorite character, but Rugal's got a healing core that's on a 30-second cooldown. These characters like Jin and Nakaruru and Haramaru do not, right? And in all honesty, guys, as far as damage, at least in Guild Raid, Rugal's weaker than all of them, right? He's weaker than all of them. So I really feel like maybe there was some biases coming in there as far as, picking the favorite characters. And, look, I mean, he's awesome and I love him. You guys know that. But in my opinion, he really belonged last. Like, I mean, there is an argument like maybe him being a little bit better than Jin in some cases, but I really don't think so. I think overall that Jin's really still just a better character than Rugal by a slight margin, guys. Slightly. I do think he's still a little bit better because he does have a heal in his 3PG. Yes, Rugal does have a healing 3PG, but the 3PG that people generally use, he doesn't have his heal. And I just feel like Jin's just slightly better, man. Being able to spam two skills in your EX core with the attack speed increase is just OP as hell. And he builds up his heal while he does it. So I personally just feel like Nakaru and Harumaru should be like in first and second. And then it should be Jin and then Rugal, at least in my humble opinion. And then we get into this here. Now, this is a really tough one. I'm really surprised that people actually picked Akuma. Again, I think that there's some biases coming in here, right? Of having Akuma in here. Akuma is a terrific character, guys. Akuma and Ryu and Chun-Li are all amazing characters. They are. They all have the immunity cores. They all have built-in shields. They all are godly characters, but none of them have a heal in their kit, right? And there's just other characters that I feel are just more useful for us, right? Akuma is amazing, but to be compared, like, guys, seriously, any one of these other characters would destroy him in damage. Now, he is kind of towards the end here, but Lady Chen, in all honesty, is a stronger character than him. But Akuma, there is an argument as far as having more survivability. I'm not even really sure as far as Lady Chen is concerned if she actually even has an immunity core. I don't remember if she does or not. Let me take a look. I mean, yeah, she gains immunity, guys. She's got an immunity core built into her kit, and she does have a critical edge shield. So I just personally feel like, I mean, I really, really feel like, she should have been, up there, guys. Like, this character should have been way up here. If anything, I think Athena and Lady Chen should have been at the very beginning. And then after that, there's some, it can be highly debatable as far as which character goes where. I'm not going to get into the specifics about where I think each character belongs because this video would be an eternity long. But we're going to leave it like this because this is what you guys voted for. More people voted for Warang to be in the first place for Demigod than any other character. Warang actually had 103 votes, right? Shermie actually had 82 votes. I keep looking at my sheet because I can't remember all these numbers. She actually had 82 votes, right? So, yeah, I mean, he ended up being the number one for this, and he is a terrific character, right? All these characters are amazing, right? And then for the lesser deities, you have a character like Cronin who is just a godly support, right? The character just offers a lot of support because of his increased target damage received built into his kit, right? He's just nutty. But Angel is crazy for Omega Rugal, but it looks like people just put more value maybe going against Nightmare Geese because Shermie and Angel are really kind of neck and neck in all honesty. It's just that Angel is really godly for Omega Rugal, and Shermie's just godly for Nightmare Geese. However, Shermie does have a healing kit at her third skill, can heal all the allies on the screen, and that's nice, guys. That's really nice. Whereas Angel, I don't think she has a healing in her kit at all, which would make Shermie a little bit better character for people to have, right? That healing passive that she has is really nice. And yeah, Angel doesn't have it, right? She doesn't have it. So Shermie just ends up being a better support. So yeah, I can actually see why people would put Shermie much higher than a character like Angel. Kyo just being a solid damage dealer. And really, guys, like all these characters with Dog Explosion are just nutty for Reviving Hell's Dungeon, but it doesn't look like people put as much stock in Reviving Hell's Dungeon as we have before. It really looks like there's just more stock, I would say, in the Tower of Trials, or maybe the Demo Space, or Guild Raid. It's really where it looks like people are putting more stock, maybe even Guild Boss Challenge, because these characters in these upper echelons are really just going to be a lot better for that. But I just wanted to give you guys my 2 cents on these characters and kind of where I feel like maybe they would belong. But I mean, all in all, it's a pretty decent list, but I really do think there should be some, some moving around as far as characters are concerned. I just don't think that Rugal is better than Nakaru Harumaru, in all honesty. I really don't think he's even better than Jin, right? Because I mean, the damage numbers I've just seen from Jin have just been better than Rugal, even to this day. And Rugal's been out for some time. People do have him at A7, and I haven't seen no 700 billion runs in Guild Raid with him like I have with Jin, right? But I've seen 1.4 billion run with Nakaruru, which is double the damage of Jin. So I just wanted to throw my 2 cents, guys, on the tier list as far as where I think these characters actually stand. I mean, in all honesty, they're all amazing characters, and yeah, it really did turn out a little bit different. I thought it would actually probably be even more skewed than what it is. I thought maybe there would be a lot more biases in there, but shout out to you players for trying to be as fair as possible. Again, I'm going by the majority rules here. I'm going by the characters that have the most votes in their categories as far as where the tier list is concerned. So, guys, let me know how you feel about the tier list. Let me know, what you guys think about it. I know I didn't go over every single character, but I will leave the list as it is. If you guys would like to do a tier list like this the next time where we do a voting poll, I would be happy to do that because I actually thought this was a pretty cool idea because, you guys are deciding who are the best characters. Because really, when it comes to Kofas, guys, even if the character isn't the strongest per se, and it's going to kind of contradict what I said earlier, they're still going to be godly in all the game modes. They're still going to be great in Guild Raid. They're still going to be great in Reviving Hell's Dungeon, Tower of Trials. Shermie's amazing in all those game modes, right? She might not be as strong as, say, like Jin or Rugal, but she's still insane for those game modes. So, I mean, I'm just using her as an example. So, maybe a lot of players just aren't going by the highest damage dealers. Maybe they're just going by characters that just have the most utility in the game. And that does change things as far as, what characters you may use. But I shared with you my opinion on the tier list. And let me know what you guys think about the tier list, where you might want to move maybe a character here and there. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody.